welcome to the Lightseers and Mystics Haven podcast. I'm Erica, an intuitive tarot reader, energy worker, and seeker of cosmic wisdom. With a Virgo sun, Cancer moon, and Gemini rising, I weave together deep introspection, emotional intuition, and a love of storytelling. As a 6'2" pure generator in human design and a master number 22 in numerology, my purpose is to guide, create, and inspire. This podcast is an extension of my Substack, The Lightseers and Mystics Haven, a sacred space where we explore tarot, astrology, human design, and many of the other unseen forces shaping our lives. Whether you're here for insight, self-discovery, or a touch of magic, you're in the right place. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the mysteries together. Welcome to episode 1 of the Lightseers and Mystics Haven podcast. I'll be your guide in navigating the unseen, decoding divine messages, and uncovering deeper truths behind this experience we call life. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Today, we're going to dive right into a powerful channeled message from the other day. They're playing a different game. This particular episode might be a little more relatable if you're familiar with video games and aware of simulation theory, but I'll do my best to break it down the way that it came through. Have you ever looked at someone's choices, the way that they live, what they believe, how they react, and it just felt baffling, like you were left befuddled? How could they possibly think this way? Or why do they seem to care so much about these things that seem so trivial or meaningless? Here's the thing. These people are not broken. They're not lost. And they might not even be wrong. They're just playing a different game. Imagine you're walking into a giant arcade and everybody's playing something different. You're deep into an RPG, which is a role player quest for spiritual mastery. But the person next to you, they're just trying to win a round of Mortal Kombat. There might be somebody else in the corner grinding through The Sims or playing Monopoly, obsessed with money and social status. There might be someone else in the other corner. They're out there playing Minecraft, just vibing and building their world block by block. You can see where I'm going with this. Not everybody is here for the same experience. If reality is this massive multidimensional game, then it makes sense that we all have different objectives, challenges, and levels of awareness. So I'm going to try to break this down through the lens of simulation theory, soul contracts, and multidimensional perspectives. So this can help you get into a deeper state of peace, of understanding, and maybe even be able to laugh at a little when it comes to people who just don't make sense to you. Let's start with simulation theory. The idea that reality isn't this solid and objective thing like it seems. It suggests that we're living in a designed experience, some computer simulated program or construct where consciousness is actually exploring itself through different avatars, storylines, and timelines. Now, if you're a gamer, think about your favorite video games. Every game has different mechanics, different objectives, and different levels of immersion. Some people are out here playing an RPG like Skyrim or World of Warcraft, and they're leveling up, gaining wisdom, and exploring every spiritual side quest. If you found yourself here, that might even be you. Other people may be playing a competitive game like Call of Duty or Fortnite, and they see this as just one big battlefield. This is their survival mission, and they're on this constant fight to win or be the last one standing. Some are just here for that Monopoly or Sims life. They want to collect wealth, build the perfect house, climb the social ladder. And then there might be the Grand Theft Auto players. These are the ones who are out here, and they are here for the chaos. They're breaking the rules, causing destruction, and just kind of seeing what they could get away with. So if you're playing a different game than someone else, their choices are never going to make sense to you because you're not even following the same rules. This is why some people thrive on material success while others might be seeking spiritual awakening. And some people in relationships might seek deep soul connections, and others are just here to swipe right and move on. Once you start to realize this, you can stop expecting others to play by the rules of your game. Let's take it a step further. What if before we became into this reality, we chose a set of soul contracts, these agreements about what we're going to experience, what we're going to learn, and who's going to be with us along the way? Who are we going to encounter? Who's going to be the victim? Who's going to be the hero, etc. Think of it like choosing your character class in an RPG. Some people pick the healer mode. They're here to help others awaken, to guide, to nurture. Some pick rogue. They're here to move in the shadows, challenge norms, disrupt systems. Some might be in warrior mode. They're taking on the hardest battles. They're choosing the most intense karma and the heaviest burdens. And some are here just for casual mode, like they're on Easy Street, a simple, easy life that has minimum challenges. So if you chose a mystic healer mode, but somebody else is in corporate boss mode, you're going to be playing completely different stories. You're sitting there with your deck of tarot cards and crystals trying to unlock deep wisdom, and they're out here making power moves in a boardroom. Take the death of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO that was shot by Luigi Mangione. Other CEOs and millionaires could not comprehend the overwhelming response that either understood, if not necessarily supported, Luigi's actions. They played the same game as he did, so they understood his strategy. Cut costs and overhead for his company to gain more dividends for his company's stockholders, even if it costs hundreds of thousands of people their health, well-being, and sometimes even life. They didn't choose healer mode after all. As this mystic healer, you may not understand the decisions of monopoly landlords who choose rent increases that are beyond the average citizen's means and result in families finding themselves homeless. And that's okay. You don't have to understand it because their mission is not your mission. And when you start to realize this and start to really accept it, the things that once felt really frustrating or confusing or angering, other people's beliefs, their seemingly irrational choices, these things suddenly start to make a little bit more sense. So what do we do with this? What do we do when someone's game starts to clash with yours? How do we move through life if we're encountering someone playing a game that feels completely foreign to us? First, we stop trying to get them to play your game. You wouldn't go up to someone who's playing Grand Theft Auto and you see them stealing a car and say, "Hey, stop that. You really need to level up your inner wisdom and align with your higher consciousness." They would look at you like you're crazy. And it's the same thing in real life. You can't force someone to wake up before they're ready. 2, you can recognize when it's time to just switch servers. If you ever played an online game, you may have encountered being on a server where the energy was just off. Like maybe people were trolling, there were bad vibes, nothing productive was happening. So sometimes the best move in that case is just to leave the server and find someone on another server that matches your frequency. In life, this might look like recognizing when it's time to walk away from a particular environment, a relationship, or conversation that doesn't align with your path. You don't have to stay and argue when no one is going to be changing the mind of the other, because again, your strategy and your thought process is not going to look the same. Third, we have to respect that some people are just playing the game on easy mode. They didn't come here for deep soul level growth in this lifetime. Some souls earned an easy playthrough, a life of comfort, ease, and simplicity. Maybe their last lifetime was hell to earn this. But if this frustrates you when you see people on Easy Street, you have to ask yourself and be honest. Why does their game bother me so much? And are you secretly wishing that your game was easier? This is a chance to be real with yourself. There's no judgment here. When all else fails, finally the thing that we can do is just laugh at how absurd it all is. We're all just floating on this rock in the middle of the universe. And so when you stop expecting everyone to play the same game, life can become a little lighter. So instead of being frustrated, you might start to laugh at how ridiculous it is. You can make it your personal game. When someone's choices or actions are frustrating you, try to guess what game they chose or what character they're playing. Bonus points if they look silly like Mr. Robotnik. Overall, the message that came through is just wanting you, whenever you're feeling misunderstood, frustrated, or disconnected from someone else's reality, just pause and remember they're playing a different game. You don't have to understand their rules. You don't have to agree with their choices. You just have to stay true to your game. And when you do, life can start to feel a lot more like an adventure and a lot less like a battleground. If this episode resonated with you, let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe to the Lightseers and Mystics Haven on Substack and connect with me on the socials linked below. You can find tarot spreads, cosmic insights, and deep dive explorations into these unseen realms. If you love this episode, like it and share it with somebody who needs to hear the message today. Maybe they left you feeling frustrated, or maybe they were frustrated with you. After all, I'm a firm believer that at some point, everyone plays the villain in someone else's story, even Jesus. Until next time, keep playing your game and trust that the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.